Yo, what's good? It's your boy Big Steve, and this is Go Blue Uncut, where we smoke and talk Michigan football. So let's get into it. So January 1st, Michigan will be playing Alabama in a Rose Bowl, the motherfucking granddaddy of them all, and the biggest motherfucking game in Michigan history that I can remember. So ain't too much to talk about when it comes to Bama. 12-1, SEC champs, beat Georgia, um, snapped Georgia's 20 some, I think it was a 30-game winning streak. So you know what they're about. Took a loss to Texas early in the season. Their starting quarterback, Jalen Monroe, was benched, but came back against Mississippi State and haven't looked back. He's a big dude, dual threat quarterback. 2,700 passing yards. Um, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 460 some rushing yards, and 12 rushing touchdowns. So he's a big boy. Michigan going to have to come ready to play. That defense is going to have to come ready to play. This is not your typical Bama team we've been accustomed to seeing in the playoffs, where they got, 2 or 3 receivers, first round capable, the first round running back. Their starting running back, Jace McCollin, just over 800 rushing yards. 6 touchdowns on the season. His backup, 561 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns on the season. But then you throw in Jalen Monroe with his 400 and some rushing yards. That's a triple threat in the backfield. So, we're going to have to come ready to play. Their tight end, Amari Nickelback, Nick Black, 19 catches, 321 yards, 4 touchdowns. So it's a typical balanced Nick Saban team, but their offense is not as explosive as the Bama teams we came accustomed to in previous playoffs games. Not saying that we should win because of that, but just the fact that they're not that same team where they can just sit their quarterback and who could just 3-step drop, throw a 9 route, and his receiver going to get it. This is a team where they depend on that quarterback to make big plays with his feet, a lot of times with his arm on the run. So we're going to have to play fundamental football on defense. Like I say, they came to Texas early in the season. Then they beat Georgia at the end of the season for the SEC championship game. Had a couple close calls, but by the time you make it to the college football playoffs, you're gonna have those games. So we can sit around and say, well, they almost lost to Auburn and they struggle with this team, but shit, they can look at us and say the same fucking thing. All that matters is they in the playoffs. And they have a chance to win it all. So that's what it comes down to. They're in our way, and we got to, run through them dudes to get to the national championship game. So like I said, they 12-1. Their quarterback, dual threat. Not too many turnovers, 6 interceptions on the season. But now, on the other hand, they do have a good defense. Dallas Turner, he's probably top 10 pick. He's top 10 pick in the 24 draft, NFL draft. I think he has like 9 sacks. So he's a typical outside linebacker, DN, whatever you want to call him these days, pass rusher for Bama that they normally do have. Their interior is not as, they don't have the Allens and the Williams and the those guys, to push up the middle, but they do have the edge rushers. I think both of them, one has 8 sacks, and I think Dallas Turner has 9 sacks. So our left tackle's going to have the game of their life. And my biggest concern is the fact that when we played Penn State, we was getting beat so many times. Not saying Penn State some chumps, because I believe just like Dallas Turner, Chop Robinson is definitely could be a top 10, top 15 pick as well. So they no slouch. There's no knock like Penn State just some bums, but we saw Carson Barnhart, who's moving to right guard. Now, I heard some things where his natural position was guard. So, Trente Jones. Trente Jones and Ladarius Henderson, this the type of game where you can jump into that first, second round type stratosphere with games right now. Games right now where you're going against a top 10 pick as a pass rusher, this the game right now can say, you know what, I don't got to come back next year. You ball out this game as tackles, you going first, second round guaranteed. This can be Trente Jones' game. He's been waiting. He's been waiting forever. He's been at Michigan for 4 years now. Former 4-star recruit. When his number's called, he's always ready. You know what I'm saying? So he's been a team player, but this is his chance. It's been proven to where you can be a backup, ball out in the playoffs, and go first round. They're not going to care about nothing that happened the regular season. Trente Jones comes out, ball out against this Bama pass rush. He's setting himself up for a major payday. So, the good thing, like I say, Bama don't got the nose tackles and the interior D linemen they normally have. So losing Zach Zenter is definitely going to hurt, but it's not going to be as big as losing a tackle like a Trente Jones or a Ladarius Henderson when you're going against these edge rushers. Who's going to come? And like I say, we definitely need to go back, watch the Penn State game, and see what we struggle with. Because it was getting to the point where, like I say, it was, we only threw one time in the whole second half and won the game. We can do that against Penn State. Once again, no slouches. Penn State has the same damn near athletes, 5-star quarterback, 5-star running backs as Bama. Bama just happened to have a couple more than Penn State. But Penn State's going to be a top 5, top 10 recruiting class every year. So if that's the game I can look at and say, we need to look at that game and fix it before we play Bama, it would be the Penn State game. Because just like Bama, just like Penn State, Ohio had 2 guys who was projected first rounds as well. And the tackles held up pretty well against those guys, better than Penn State. So it'll be interesting to see what Sherrod Moore and Jim Harbaugh come up with as far as helping those tackles out, and can the tackles man up and get themselves some money. Basically, that's what it comes down to. So on far as Bama's offense, Jalen Monroe is the main player we got to really focus on. And on defense, the edge rushers, the pass rush, Dallas Turner, and what's my guy name? He has a weird ass name. Chris Boswell. And they have, two or three guys with 7 or 8 sacks. So tackles is definitely going to be a big part of winning this game, hands down. So far as Michigan's offense goes, can we run it up the middle? Can we run the ball up the middle? This gonna be the type of game where we're gonna have to win in the trenches up the middle. Because one thing about Bama, Georgia, when you play in these SEC elite teams, they have sideline to sideline speed to where you're not going to just be able to sit back there and just wait for a hole to open up every time. You're going to have to run it at them. So, offense, can the tackles hold up against the edge? And can the running game, without Zach Zinter, dominate the middle of the trenches? And JJ, I'm pretty sure after TCU's games last year, he's more ready for this game than anybody. So I'm kind of jumping over the place, but as far as Michigan's on offense, tackles is going to be the main part to look at. Henderson, Trente Jones. Can those guys make themselves known into scouts that we can look at these dudes as 1 or 2 in the draft? 1 or 2 rounds in the draft. Tight ends. Can our tight ends expose their linebackers? Running backs. Donovan Edwards. In a similar situation to a Trente Jones, Donovan Edwards in a spot right now to where if he has a big game, first and second round. Because scouts going to want to see. All right, coming into this year, we heard he was this do-it-all running back, can play receiver. Everything that NFL teams look for in that second and third running back, he fits the mold. You look at his numbers, he didn't have the type of season that I'm pretty sure even to his expectations, 109 carries, 382 yards, 3 touchdowns. And I think he had the 1 touchdown against, I believe it was Penn State. The only one that really mattered. So this can be his game as well. Can he cause some mismatches on their linebackers? Can he have that 7, 8 receptions type game, 80 yards, touchdown? That's what we're going to need for Donovan Edwards. He's not going to be able to get the ball. We don't need to see him on any jet sweeps. Can we get him on a linebacker on an island and expose him? Wheel routes, tight ends and running backs going to be key. Because not to say that we can't line up with our receivers and attack their secondary. I feel Roman Wilson and Samaj Morgan can play with anybody in the nation. So, with that being said, I feel that with tight ends and running backs going to have to make these linebackers play defense. I remember when we played Georgia, I think it was Nicole Dean. He played for the Eagles now. He was just downhill. It was not one time the tight end made him have to do anything. He was just coming downhill. They were just coming downhill. Can our running back and tight end crew make these linebackers play football? Make them cover. Make them think in space. Not they just see, oh, we know they finna run the ball. We coming downhill. So, as far as the offense, can we make the linebackers play? And then when we flip over to Michigan's defense, I've been saying this dude name all year. And on top of that, I believe he got an award for the toughest man of the year or some shit like that. And really, when I saw that, I watched every Michigan game, probably more than once. When I tell you Junior Colston, maybe he can prove me wrong this game and tell me to shut the fuck up. I hope he do. But Junior Colston has been the softest middle linebacker we didn't had in a while. When I think of Devin Bush, when I think of Cam McGrone, when I think of Josh Ross, they made people go backwards. I remember when Ross came through the whole Henderson 101 on the third down and flexed. Before he got hurt, I remember Cam McGrone just being an animal sideline to sideline, knocking motherfuckers backwards. When I see Junior Colston, hell of a best athlete at middle linebacker Michigan has had, period. Him and Cam McGrone probably before Cam McGrone to his ACL, he was an athletic monster. But Junior Colston always letting the running backs attack him. He's never the one that's bringing the pain. He's never the one that's coming downhill hitting. He'll be in a hole and the running back just running to him and get an extra 2-3 yards after the contact. So him getting that award is like, I don't know. Because, when I see a lot of these comments, and I think Mike Barrett has taken far as heat, it's been mostly Mike Barrett. But to me, Mike Barrett has been the most consistent out the linebacker group. But you ask me who I feel I'm looking more forward to seeing this game, it's the Nebraska transfer. I'm Ernest Huseman, what the fuck his name is. I'm going to just call him Nebraska. He's the only one I saw come downhill and hit. Like NFL, like he come down and hit motherfuckers. It's like either I'm getting hurt, you getting hurt, somebody, I'm coming down. I'm not fucking looking at shit. I'm attacking. He's the type of guy who, it probably hurt us on the screenplay, but far as him seeing a running back and attacking, he's the best one. I think Mike Barrett's been the more consistent, but Junior Colston has been the most disappointment to me. I noticed he have a hand injury. He's been dealing with injuries since his freshman year. So defense is going to start with Junior Colston. It's going to start with Junior Colston. Can he contain the middle of the field? We saw with TCU. We saw with Georgia. I feel this year we have the deep tackles to get pressure and win one-on-one battles. Now, if that don't happen, I'll be the first one to come on this motherfucker and apologize to Junior Colston. Like, hey, man, these offensive linemen getting to you too fast. Your D lineman ain't doing shit to help you out. But I have enough confidence that Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham and Chris Jenkins and those guys can win one-on-one battles to where Junior Colston should be able to eat one-on-ones against the running backs. So and containment as well. Like I said, it was a lot of times against TCU, up the middle, you see him just always diving at the ball, diving at running backs, diving at the quarterback scrambling. So I would like to see more of the Nebraska kid back there. Jalen Harrell, Braden McGregor, Derek Moore, Josiah Stewart. Make this dude day a living hell. You want to fucking get paid? This the fucking game to do it. You want to get fucking paid? This the fucking game to do it. Rod Moore, you call a ball game against Ohio. They looking now. They say, well, if he come out right now, maybe third, fourth rounder. You call a ball game against BAMA? Shit. First or second rounder. This the game where Jim Harbaugh said we got 17 people who can get drafted off this team. This the game they gonna have to fucking prove it right here. Because this the Bama team that if you can face any Bama team in the playoffs on the spotlight, we had that moment last year and we fucking blew it. Now we have a Bama team that don't, like I say, even you can see Saban sometimes. It's like, man, we won some games there where it was like, shit, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. So this the defense. Jalen Harrell, you've been around for a while. You're only a senior, a true senior at that. But you've been getting playing time for a while. Braden McGregor, you come out. Like I say, they don't give a fuck about regular season stats. You want to get paid, ball out this motherfucking game. Donovan Edwards, ball out this fucking game. Junior Colston, ball out this motherfucking game. Sophomores, which I'm going to do a video regarding the freshmen and sophomores later, because I think that team can be just as better than this team right now. Especially if JJ comes back next year, but that's another video. Now it's Jim Harbaugh put everybody in position to get paid. Everybody can get paid. Coaches and everybody. Coaches and everybody. Everybody can get paid right here. We got the only team where it's like, Bama, they got their first rounders. Texas, everybody on that team, ain't nobody's spot's going to change on Texas. Xavier Worthy probably was already a first round, maybe second round player. Their D tackle, first rounder. Everybody's good on that team. Washington receivers, Penance, maybe a first round. Everybody solidified. Michigan's the only team where it's like, you go out there and stank it up, everybody got to come back next year. You probably have one or two people. You probably have one or two people. You go out there and ball out, you got about 10 motherfuckers who can get drafted within the first 3 rounds guaranteed. So, JJ, don't fucking turn the ball over. You use your legs when you feel you have to. Michigan, don't get too cute. We know we're going to probably put Alex Orji in or some shit. I'm down with that. Take advantage of that. Samaj Morgan. But let's not get too fucking cute and put Alex Orji on some shit. We doing some double reverse pass with him and some crazy shit and he throw an interception. Let's run at these dudes. Let's run at these dudes. And on defense, let's attack them quick. Let's not let him sit back there and think he got time. We blitzing his ass. DBs better be ready. Because we bringing the heat. We not finna let this dude just sit back there and just tap the ball. Nah. 4 or 5 coming every time. 4 or 5 coming every time. So we want to be in a position where their quarterback has to drop back. We don't want to be in a spot where it's the second quarter and now they can start running the ball and it is what it is. So my score predictions, I got Michigan winning. I'm going to say 42 to 24. 42 to 24, Michigan. So, like I said, I'm going to do another video this week. It's going to be regarding the underclassmen, the sophomores and freshmen, and a couple juniors who can come back and make the 2024 team and maybe a repeat as national champs. Who knows? I like the chances depending on how this game turns out. So 42 to 24, I got it. Michigan with the dub. JJ MVP, maybe Donovan Edwards. Who knows? Donovan Edwards can have a breakout game this year. I mean, this game probably give over 100 and some rushing yards, maybe 100 and some receiving yards. Who knows? But other than that, go blue.